I was just like, it needs to happen. It's going to start happening right now.
Yes.
Just got to take that first step. So yeah. Have you been in Grand Island most of today? Or I guess I'm curious kind of like what your day-to-day looks like since you have properties in multiple areas.
Yeah. So like I spent my morning at Active Family seeing patients.
Okay.
And then really been with meetings with my leaders on construction side and actually maintenance side as well. So yeah.
Nice.
So mainly here in Grand Island today.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So I usually don't go to other sites. I usually kind of stay
here. Okay.
Or I have leaders that kind of go out and go to other sites a lot of times.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, how would you describe, when you meet someone new, how do you describe you and what you do?
Let's see here. I think I would describe myself as a people grower. Like I constantly want to make sure that my team is strong, they're inspired, they have good leadership, and they have purpose. Because if people have purpose and they have a love for what they do, you become unstoppable. It's when individuals are not inspired and they don't have purpose and they don't have a love for what they do is when they lose that spark, and they can get fatigued and get burnt out. But ultimately, if their purpose and their love and their vision is all in alignment and everybody has understanding of what direction we're going and how we're going to achieve that, it's very hard to get burnt out.
Mm-hmm. So at this point in time, are you spending most of your time here at Prairie District, or like when it comes to like the real estate side of it, is this like kind of like your home base, I guess, right now, or what would you consider your home base?
Yes, I would say that, because we just recently moved our headquarters to the commercial building out here. So We're on the second floor, we're all together now, which is kind of nice. So a lot of my time is spent out here. But a lot of what's happening today were all decisions that were made a year to 2 years ago. And so like, yes, there's a lot going on, but most of those decisions were already made. Yeah. So now it's always deciding the next year or 2 years out, right. Having that vision for what the future looks like.
Definitely. I'm curious, like, what was your first job? Because you have your hands on a lot of things at this point. So like, how did you start off? What was your first job?
So actually, I grew up in a small town. That's 600 people. So I always say, I was from Shelby, Nebraska. Okay. And my mom was a teacher. My dad had a grocery store. And so I worked in the grocery store probably from 6 years old. And what I mean by that, probably in kindergarten, I was sacking groceries. And if you went to a small town grocery store back in the day, you would bag them and walk them to the vehicle, actually put them in the vehicle for your customers. Mm-hmm. And so that interaction with people at that time, I think, was very valuable. And I think one of the coolest things that I remember, we had, every town has like a celebration, and my dad had a cotton candy machine. And so I sold cotton candy, and just that fun of like doing something and getting that instant reward of someone paying you to do something. Yeah. It's kind of that thing of like, oh, that was a lot of fun to do that. But really my first job is I actually worked for the church. So I was the maintenance guy for the church. So I did that junior high to kind of my sophomore year. So I did all the maintenance did all the landscaping, cleaned the church, did all that in Shelby. And then I worked for a roofing company because I was like, okay, I need to learn something else. So I actually shingled roofs my senior year. Yeah. And I think one of the best things about that is on how Shelby Lumber did it is you're on the shingling crew, and if once in a while you got to go on the framing crew. And so when you got your opportunity to go on the framing crew, then you wanted to stay on that. You didn't want to shingle roofs. That's not what you wanted. You got paid the same to shingle or frame. Like, you want to be on the framing crew. So that was a great experience of like when you had an opportunity to do something, to do it because you want a better situation for yourself. But actually from that, because I did that, I got into fireworks. And so my senior year, most people don't know this about me, I actually bought a firework company. So I was shingling roofs, I was on the framing crew, and I was like, I'm gonna take this money and buy something. Don't ask me why I had that desire to do that. Most kids probably would have just spent it and just had fun from working. But I was like, no, I'm gonna buy something, kind of do a business. And so I actually bought a firework company, and that's what I did my last year at Shelby, is I ran a firework stand. And I was like, well, I want to kind of grow this. So in the end, that's kind of how I helped pay for my college and just my living, because I was the youngest of 5 kids. So my parents set me up great, as in they're loving and everything, but also you have 5 kids. You can't just send 5 kids off to college. And so I ran firework stands all the way through college, and actually through my doctorate as well.
Dang.
So I had 5-6 firework stands going. So I would run one, and then I would hire out like the 4 or 5 other ones. So that really became my foundation of how to organize and how a business is ran, because you had all these expenses, but then you got to make sure your income is covering those expenses. So I loved the firework business. I still have a dream today that hopefully my kids will, and we're going to get back into fireworks someday, and let's sell fireworks.
That's so interesting. So you were able to do that all throughout your doctorate, like you were managing, operating this whole thing.
Yeah, so through undergrad, I operated firework stands. I usually got like a buddy to run one in college. Otherwise, I'd get like a Washington, D.C. group to do it. And then I did it, this sounds horrible, but I picked my doctorate school off of their break. And so Davenport, Iowa, Palmer Chiropractic, which is actually the best chiropractic school out there, they had a break from June, kind of mid-June to mid-July, and I was like, oh, that's perfect. That's fireworks season. I can do this. I can still run this and go to school. And so that I actually, when I first opened my practice, that's how I got the funding to open my practice. And so I remember when I opened Active Family Chiropractic, I was like, well, I have no money. Like, I knew nobody in this town. I had no money. So I built the walls, because I was on a framing crew. I did the trim work, painted it, did everything that I could to build out this office. And I actually still ran the fireworks stands while opening that business for the first year or 2. And then we started having kids, and my wife was like, okay, like, you can't run this fireworks stand, be a doctor, have all this, have all these responsibilities. Like, you have to be home.
Yeah.
So
that is nuts. So, I mean, you really, truly like bootstrapped your way through all this. I mean, in a sense, like it just starts off at the grocery store, fireworks, and then what made you choose like Grand Island? Like, so was this where you first opened up Active Family, was Grand Island? Yeah,
so my wife and I didn't know a single soul. Actually, I went to college with Jamie Douglas, so with Douglas Bookkeeping, so we're roommates. I was the only person I knew in Grand Island. So we didn't move here because of him. We moved here because my wife's from Lexington, Nebraska, and I'm from Shelby. So it was an hour from our parents, and we're like, hey, this is a good sized town where we could build our businesses. So that's really how we chose Grand Island. It was in between our parents, and it was a good sized town.
Nice. Okay. So when did you right after your doctorate program, did you go straight into Active Family, or when did you build that building?
Yeah, so actually, you know where Domino's is on Webb Road? So where that iPhone repair place is?
Oh, yeah.
So that was the first Active Family.
Okay.
So that's where I opened up there. And it was just myself and one employee. And Dr. Gavin joined us. Jenna Rivera was still there. We started there and still with us today. Dr. Gavin's still with us today. And so we practiced there for, I think, 3 or 4 years. And I always looked across the street, and I loved that area. And there was a house that used to be on the corner of Webb and Fadley. I was like, someday I'm going to buy that house and build Active Family, like a building there. And ironically, it went up for sale and someone bought it. I was like, oh crap! And so I contacted him. I would really like to buy this house from you. And so, fortunately enough, he sold it, and that's when I built Active Family on Webb and Fadley.
Wow. Okay.
So,
and now, how many locations do you have? Is it the 2? Because I know there's one up north now, right? Too.
Yeah. So we have 2 locations in Grand Island. Then we actually have 2 locations in Hastings. Then we have a location in Kearney and also Columbus.
Nice. Okay.
Yep.
So what was it like, the business aspect of that? So you get out of school and you want to start your practice. Like, were there any learning curves? I'm sure there were, but like at that point you had done a lot. So what was that process like?
Anybody that's successful has more failures than successes. It's just a matter if you learn from those failures or not. So yeah, I failed a lot. I had a lot of failures, but I learned from those failures. And I still have a lot of failures today, and you just have to learn from them. Because if you constantly have the same ones over and over, that's when you get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So
what would you say, like, the biggest contributor to any of your successes? Like, feel free to pick like one of your favorite memories of like feeling success, or just like feeling like you've done something great, and like, what do you think the biggest thing is that's contributed to that?
I think the biggest thing is when I understood that I'm not the best at it, that there's other people that you need to bring on your team, and they are just as good as you, if not better at it. So many people think that you got to know everything. You're the one and everything. No, if you need to grow other people, and you need to help other people with their life, with their successes, all the things, and then all of a sudden everybody's winning.
Yeah. When was like the first time you realized you had a major weakness, and like how did you go about doing what you just said of like finding the right people to fit that in, rather than thinking that you have to do it all yourself?
It was actually when I hired Dr. Gavin. So when he joined my practice, like, oh, I'm the best chiropractor. It's only me that could help someone and do it. And then all of a sudden he started seeing patients like, oh, he's really good at that. Oh, he's better at that than I'm at that. I'm really good at this, but he's good at this. And so that's kind of when it clicked of like, oh, like you don't need to know everything. You just need to surround yourself with good people that care and have good purpose and ethics and morals, and grow from there.
Definitely. That's an interesting concept to me, because I think the older I'm getting, the more I realize that it's like sometimes we grow up thinking we have to have it all figured out and we have to master our weaknesses, versus like knowing that the world's abundant, everyone has strengths, and like if we can network, if we can like find people that fill those rather than spending time on those, like when we spend time on our strengths, we have more energy. I feel like we're more likely to get the things that we want to get done.
Yes. It's more fun to do it with other people.
Yeah.
If you're doing it by yourself, there's a lot more weight with that as well, but it's a lot more fun to do it with others. What's
your biggest like advice to other maybe people who are just kind of getting into like operating a business? What's your biggest piece of advice to them to like grow, to find the right people, do what you did, and kind of filling those roles?
Love people. Show them love. Show them that you care. I think love what you do and love the people around you.
That's good. Like, kind of expand on that. I'm curious, like, how do you, I feel like that's definitely contrary to like maybe how the Industrial Revolution, like, you know, how like the way workers are being treated, and I feel like I've heard that as a common theme more, people talking about that focus is what brings their business so much success. And we're kind of starting to turn to a world where like businesses that are thriving are the ones who are like loving their employees, taking care of them well. So like, how have you found like practical ways to do that?
A lot of times you can't, let's say as you grow, you can't love everybody, as in you, so you have to pick people you invest into and love them and make them as successful as possible, so that they can do that for the people that they are leading too. So it's always kind of finding that stepping stone. Like I always think an individual can really only truly lead 10 people. So once you have your 10 people, then okay, now pick out those people who you can add 10 people underneath them, and then 10 people underneath them. And some people can only lead 3 people or 2 people. Find what their native genius is once you figure out that individual and what their native genius is and what they're really good at, then that's going to make them happy. So give them that stuff.
That's so cool, because like you obviously are involved in a lot of different businesses, but the resounding like theme here is people. Like you're in the business of people and like loving and managing people, and like the rest of it kind of seems to figure itself out if you're able to like hammer that home. Would you say that that's true?
Yes, if you have the right people in place, it makes a difference. And that person might not be the right for another person, but they might be perfect for this company. So, I mean, if you're in a place where you might not be happy, there's always another place for you. Or if you're in a place that you don't feel loved, there's always a place. It's kind of like if someone's not succeeding on our team, there's probably a better place for them. Maybe not on our team or somewhere else on our team.
Yeah. So you started Active Family. At what point did you start to think about? So now you're kind of investing in real estate and real estate development, right? Like, when did you make that jump, and what made you decide to do that and kind of invest in different communities in the area?
So I knew nothing about real estate. Like I said, I shingled roofs, and I was fortunate enough to be on a framing crew if I was good enough. But what made that flip was actually when I built Active Family on Webb and Fadley. When I built that, the biggest realization was, oh crap, you only need 20% to put down to build a building. I don't know, in my mind I was like, well, to build a building you need to have all this money. And I was like, oh, our banks are our friends, they leverage. So we're kind of in a world of leveraging things now, whereas maybe as our parents they didn't leverage as much, but now we're in a world of leveraging and banking. And so that's when I learned kind of the process of it, and then I just multiplied it from there, where I was like, okay, this is how I leveraged building Active Family on Webb and Fadley. Now, okay, I want to do that with a single family home. So that's what I did. I bought a house, and I wasn't in the game of flipping stuff. I was in the game of buying and holding. So I bought a house, then I bought another one, then I bought another one, then I bought another one, then because I bought these houses and I was like, well, crap, now I need a system. So now I need a system of how to do maintenance. Now I need a system how to do management. Now I need a system for this. So I'll just be honest, there's not a lot of money in rental business. Like it's more appreciation, write-offs, there's some cash flow, and there's debt pay down. Those are the 4 categories of real estate. So it's not like you're making a lot of money off of rentals. It's more of the appreciation that happens once you sell or once you re-leverage that property. So it took a while for me to create these systems so that I could hire somebody.
Right.
So once I had enough units to actually hire somebody, that's when I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy this or buy that. But then the market changed where it didn't make sense to buy stuff. And so that's when we had a crazy idea of like, well, let's build it ourselves. Let's buy this piece of property and build it, because it was almost cheaper to build it new than to buy an existing property that was maybe 20 years old and then you had all these problems with it. It made more sense to actually build. And so that's when we did Talon Apartments. But then in central Nebraska, it's not like Lincoln or Omaha where you can throw like 300 units to a community at one time. It doesn't work that way. So in my mind, I was like, well, for us to build units, we have to start diversifying, and we have to go to other communities. And so that's when, after we built Talon, we actually went to Lexington and built some units there. So we weren't concentrating a community. Then we went up to Norfolk, then we went to Kearney, and then we came back to Grand Island and Hastings, Columbus. Like we just started building in other places, so we never saturated a place, because sadly you don't want too many units, because if your units aren't full, you're not making money. And there's not a lot of money in renting stuff. There's small margins, so you got to make sure you're doing a good job all the way through.
Right. That's interesting. Like the journey you took to get to that point. What was like the most fun part of that process? Like all that expansion of like building here, building here, building here. What was the most fun part for you?
Well, growing teams. So it was fun to grow a team, but it was the dreaming of what a piece of land could be down the road. Like you gotta remember, like you're starting to see the vision that we created 4 years ago. And so it's fun to, like, this was a 200-acre field, and now it's coming to life. Now you have a hotel, you have a clubhouse that we're sitting in, we have almost 300 apartment units, we have a commercial building with Balls, Grand Island Dental, Summit Real Estate, Hotworks is coming, we have Big Red Treats, like now we have a 22-acre lake that we're building that we're gonna have houses. Like, to have that vision and that dream and for it to come alive, that's the fun part, to start seeing your dreams and vision come alive, even though it was 3 or 4 years ago when we made these plans.
Yeah, but I imagine that is kind of like fulfilling, like the fulfilling part of it is like, it's like a long haul, but like you said today, this is a great place that we're at the Prairie District, and it is coming to life. So I do want to talk like specifically about this place. So what made you decide, okay, Grand Island, I want to do this here in Grand Island? Like, what made you decide like a product of this scope was like, this is what I'm going to do?
There's a couple things. First, I wanted a legacy product. I was like, I want to do something great, like right here. It's a lot of work to build in other towns. You're driving, your team is driving. Like, I wanted to do something great here in Grand Island. And another big thing was I was trying to recruit professionals to come to Grand Island for active family. And it was very difficult to do that because they were living in like a product that they lived in Omaha or Lincoln or where they went to school. And then I was recruiting them to come to Grand Island. And we just didn't have the product at that time to serve our professionals. So one of the big motivation for this site was, how do we serve our community through bringing professionals to our community? And that was the main design of this. Now that we've built those units, if you notice our next units that are opening actually right now, there are 22-plex. So that's more of our affordable product. So now we're starting to diversify Prairie District area for bringing in different demographics, different income levels, so that the site even comes alive even more.
Yeah. Well, so what made you think like, okay, we're going to have homes, we're going to have apartments, we're going to have a hotel. Like, obviously it's a legacy product. So you know, this is kind of like your vision coming to life. What were things that were important to you in planning this area?
It's almost like a circle of life. What I mean by that, to get people to come to Grand Island, you need to have good apartment products. Because once they come here and they get a job, they establish roots here, then eventually they're going to move from the apartment to a house. And once they move to the house, they're going to move to maybe a condo on the lake. So that was kind of the big idea of, let's build some apartments and get people moving here, and then eventually build like some townhomes or other products that, hey, once this person, and you haven't seen those yet, but those are coming. So once someone's ready to move on from an apartment to a townhome or an entry-level house, hopefully we're going to have that type of product. Then once they've moved from that to, hey, I want my house on the lake, and I want a beach for my kids to play, we're going to have that product. And then eventually we're going to have condos on the lake where you're like, I'm kind of done with the big house. I want to be maybe a 2 or 3 bedroom on the same level, condo on the lake, and retire. And so that's the idea and the vision that's going to come in the future. But also we knew we have to socialize more as kind of a community. One thing we noticed with COVID, when we weren't socializing, we weren't loving, and we weren't growing as a society. So we knew like we wanted to have a town center in this, because your town center or our commercial area is our heart. That's the energy of it. And that's what's going to make Prairie District great, is not only do we have the energy of our heart, of our baristas, Balls, and Big Red Treats, Hotworks, hopefully another restaurant. So we have that energy, but then we're going to have the energy of new professionals living here, other young starting families living here. But then we're going to have the energy of people that have lived here, maybe doctors on the lake, or lawyers or attorneys or other professionals living on a lake. You start bringing all that energy, this place is going to be hopping and fun to live.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think from my perspective too, growing up here, moving back here, it's been so good to be back. So good to see stuff like this happening because it signals growth, and there's a lot of growth happening in Grand Island, obviously. Like, but it does serve. To me, it fits a need that is present that hasn't been really met very well. It's just like young professionals, young families, like people wanting amenities and things to do, and just like community. Mm-hmm. And I like seeing it come to life. It feels like it's doing that. Have you gotten initial like, I don't know, feedback, response, people that are moving here? Like, I know things are still happening, but like, what have you heard so far from the community?
I think the biggest thing that I've heard is, man, like, it feels special. It feels like a special place. Because it's amazing if you ever come out here. Sometimes I'll work in my office. Now that my office is out here on the weekends, there's so many people that are just curious and drive around out here. And it's special because of our architect. What I mean by that, if you look at our architecture, it's all the same theme. And when you have a kind of, I say the Disney of neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. Why is Disney World, Disneyland so special? Because there's a theme throughout. Or you might go from one area of the park to another area of the park, but it's all the same theme. And so like when you drive into Prairie District, right now it's all the same theme. It's all the same architecture. Everything looks the same. So you feel like you're in a very special place. And it's very comforting because of our sidewalks, of our green spaces. And so people love living here because it's open and it feels safe and it feels special.
Yeah. So you mentioned like the circle of life. What is available, like as of right now today, for each individual at different stages of life? What's available to them here? Like where can they live? Like what can they do here now?
Yeah, right now. So obviously we have apartments, and we have apartments available for you. So if you're looking as a young professional or just looking to upgrade where you're living, come check us out. If you're looking to downgrade from a house and you're like, I don't want to take care of my yard anymore. I don't want to have to do maintenance on my HVAC or maintenance on my dishwasher or anything that breaks down. That's what's great about living in our apartments. Our maintenance team is amazing and they're going to take care of you. You're like, I want to live on a first floor unit. We have first floor units where you can walk out your patio and you can walk to a swimming pool or play outdoor shuffleboard. Could be an outdoor shuffleboard. So if you're looking to downgrade and not have the labor of a house, we got you. If you're looking to upgrade from a current apartment that you're already in, we got you. And if you're ready to move to Grand Island and start your career, we got you.
Yeah. What about the housing lots? Like, can people buy those right now?
I can't believe I forgot to talk about that. So if you're looking for a house on the lake or even off the lake, we have 22 single family lots available. Nice. So they are available now. We're ready. If you drive out here, you can actually drive out on the road. You can see the lake. The beaches are amazing. They're all sand beaches. You can have a walkout basement as well. So there's not a lot of places in Grand Island where you can build a house and have a walkout to a beach. Mm-hmm. So we got that. So there's a lot of cool things.
Nice. Yeah. So I mean, you've kind of touched on this a bit, but I'm curious, like, if you had to sum it up in like a sentence or two, what kind of lifestyle or culture are you trying to build here, and like who are the main people you're trying to attract?
I think Grand Island's based on family. And so I think it's attracting professionals, attracting people that want to live in a special place and to want to socialize, want to be able to go for walks. But the lake aspect, it's professionals too. Like people are ready to upgrade. That, hey, I'm in this house and I'm ready to live on a lake. I want views. I want to be able to walk from my apartment in my house and go walk down and get ice cream. I want to drive out of my drive or walk and get coffee. I want to stop at Balls and have a beer before I go home, or invite buddies down and be in a safe, fun place with great energy. This is where you come.
Definitely. Yeah. We've talked before too. I'm very excited about what's happening here again. As a young person in Grand Island, just this signals so much good, healthy growth and just community. Have you seen? I know it's early, but like, have you seen it being a are people moving from Grand Island to a place here, or is it, and it could be or is it attracting people to come to Grand Island in the first place where they were living outside of Grand Island before?
I would say one of our main is people coming to Grand Island for their place to live. And I would say the other thing is they're ready to move up. Like you might have had that entry level job and you're living in an apartment complex and you're like, I want something better I want 9-foot ceilings. I want better windows. I want a better security. We have cameras throughout, like it's very safe out there. I want a safer place. We're getting those as well.
Okay. And what opportunities are available for businesses right now? I know you have offices, places that are already built. There's lots. Like what does that look like at the moment?
Yeah, so we have land available. If you're like, hey, I want to own land and build my own place, we have that. We have commercial space available as well. So we have about 3,000 square feet on the first floor. That would be perfect for a restaurant. So all you restaurant owners, come out here. This is going to be happening. But then also we have office space on the second floor, about 8,000 square feet on the second floor that's available. And so we can break that up. If you want 1,000, you want 2,000, you want 3,000, you want 6,000, or you want all 8,000, we can break that up for you as well.
Gotcha.
But yeah, otherwise we got some lots where if you want us to build it for you and own it and you just lease it back, we can do some custom builds and put together a 10-15 year lease agreement and we would own it, but you would rent it. So there's all different types of options for businesses to come out here.
That's interesting. So I guess, are there any other types of businesses that you want here that are not here yet?
I would love more restaurants here. I feel like we're on a food desert right now. Like if anything past that viaduct south, there's no food. Balls is gonna kill it out here.
Yeah.
Like it's probably gonna be their busiest location. And
Yeah.
Balls is already busy.
Yeah.
So we could definitely take on 1 or 2 more restaurants out here.
Okay, very cool. What would be like when this is all built out, when this is all done and people are living here, what would be like something you'd want to look back on and say like, this is the definition of success for me, like, and this is when I like to the point where like I did it, like this is what I wanted, like what would that point be?
I'm going to say a statement that I say a lot to myself is constancy of purpose. When we set out for this neighborhood, we had a certain vision, and it would be a success to me if we keep that vision throughout the neighborhood. That if there's a common theme all the way throughout it, and in 20, 30 years, someone looks back and they're like, wow, like I see what they're trying to do here, and it came alive. So that constancy of purpose, make sure we're not going one direction and then another direction. Everything is designed and perfectly put together in the end.
I love that. Yeah. Like, do you feel like you want to continue to do projects like this? Like to your point about constancy of purpose, like, is this what you enjoy doing? Like you just like when you foresee yourself doing more of this kind of stuff outside of Prairie District?
I get a rush off of doing stuff like this. Some people might like going to the casino. I love doing this. So yes, if I don't run out of money, yes.
Yeah,
joking. But I would love to do this in Grand Island again. I'd love to do it in other communities. And so yeah, I'm young.
Yeah.
So I still got 30 more years in me.
Yeah, definitely. What's your message to the Grand Island folks, to young professionals thinking about Grand Island, looking at Prairie District, wanting, are there jobs here? Is there a place for me here? What would be your message to them?
Yeah, come to Grand Island. It's a great place to raise a family, and it's a great place to invest into a community. And I talked about love at the very beginning. When you come here, love Grand Island because it's going to love you back even more.
Definitely. Yeah, I completely agree. Scott, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. Means a lot. Means a lot to be here, see this come to life. I used to drive, I think I told you before, I used to drive by this every day to go to school, to go to class in high school. And so to see it go from like nothing to this is pretty incredible.
It's
So
rather fast too.
Yeah,
it's crazy
very
how
fast.
fast it's gone.
yes,
So,
thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.